Red lights washed the corridor. A camera drone floated behind Captain Vera, recording. "Prisoner 7B, an officer said. "Human silent?" Vera smiled. "Silent means broken." The holding bay door hissed open. Inside, a human sat on a bolted chair, wrists locked in cuffs, bruises on his face. Steady eyes. File name, Jace Holt. Vera stopped, just outside his reach. "Look at me." Jace lifted his head. "No fear, no begging," an officer muttered. "He acts brave." Vera raised her voice for the drone. "We rule this sector. You're kind. Lives because we allow it." Jace stayed quiet. Vera's smile thinned. "No words? Then we teach." She pulled a thin metal baton from her belt, not too killingly to control. She tapped his chest. Tap, no flinch. She tapped harder. Tapped. A few officers laughed. The drone zoomed in, waiting for him to break. Vera turned her crest toward the camera. "See, humans know their place." She poked his jaw, tilting his head like a toy. Jace's eyes tracked the baton. His breathing stayed even, but his shoulders shifted slightly, like he was measuring distance. Vera leaned closer. "Beg," she whispered. "Do something." The first time, Jace spoke. One word. "Stop." A small word. A sharp one. Vera laughed. "Or what?" She moved closer, pride pulling her in. She lifted the baton for one more poke right beside his mouth, so the feed would catch it. The baton touched the corner of Jace's lips. Jace moved fast, clean, certain. He bit down on her glove and the soft edge beneath it. Vera froze. Laughter died. The drone beeped. A thin line of dark blood appeared. Then the ship's translator, linked to Draconid law, spoke in a loud, flat voice. "Blood claim detected. Right of dominance initiated." Light snapped from red to hard white. Locks clicked. Doors sealed. A siren rose. Vera yanked her hand back, staring at the bite mark. "What did he just do?" an officer whispered. JC looked up, calm as ever. "You kept poking." Vera's throat went dry. In Draconid law, a public bite was a challenge. The ship had recorded it. The right could not be canceled. The officer stepped away from her, suddenly careful. Vera hit the door panel. Open. "Access denied," flashback. The law system had taken control. It demanded witnesses. It demanded a trial. On the wall screen, the ship's feed auto-opened. Rows of faces appeared, crew watching from stations and bunks. Messages flashed in lines. "Blood claim. Is it real? Who started it?" Vera felt heat crawl under her scales. If she refused the right, she would be branded a coward. If she lost, her crest would be stripped. And if the dragon judged her unworthy, no rank could save her. Then the ship trembled. A deep roar rolled through the metal, slow and heavy. Vera went pale. No, not now. Not beyond the far glass wall. In the shadowed hangar, a massive shape shifted. Scales caught the light. One huge eye opened. The bonded war dragon Nusha had felt the right awaken. The eye did not look at Veyra. It looked at the human, and it did not blink. The translator spoke. Again, colder. "Right arena preparation, active. Captain Vera required to present challenger." Vera swallowed. Her lesson had become a trap. She stared at Jace. For the first time, she did not see a weak prisoner. She saw a spark. "Get him ready," she ordered. "We go to the arena." Jace leaned back in his cuffs, silent, while the dragon watched. Him like a promise. Somewhere deeper in the ship, arena gates began to rise. Asterisk Vera marched toward the arena with 2 guards behind her. Jace walked in front of them, cuffs humming around his wrists. Corridor screens flashed one message. "Right route, active." Vera spoke without warmth. "You think you proved something?" "I proved you can't treat me like a toy," Jace said. She cut her eyes to him. "In Draconid law, a bite is not a protest. It is a blood claim. Explain." "It means you challenged my right to command you," she said. "In public. On record." Ship heard it. The dragons heard it. Jace kept walking. "Good." They reached a small chamber before the arena gates. Two black-marked clerks waited with a scanner. One clerk studied Jace like he was a number. The other studied Vera's hand like it was evidence. Name, the scanner clerk demanded Jace. Holt, the scanner chirped. Claim accepted, the clerk said. Withdrawal requires the victor's consent. Vera bristled. He's my prisoner. The clerk did not blink. During the rite, he is your challenger. A thin wrinkler clicked around Jace's neck. Not a weapon, just a translator to broadcast his words, so no one could twist them later. Beside the chamber sat a sealed door with a pulsing warning. Bonded danger. From inside, something breathed, slow, deep, like thunder under stone. Jace stopped. That's her. Vera's jaw tightened. Do not look. Jace looked anyway. Through a narrow gap, he saw one golden eye open in the dark. Asha, massive, silent, watching. Metal. Plates and control wires wrapped her neck. One wire had rubbed a raw line into her scales. She's hurt, Jace said. Jace said, Veyra, answered too fast. It is necessary. Careful. Asha, he said softly, using the name like a key. The eye narrowed, not hate. Interest. A. Guard lifted his rifle. Vera slapped the barrel down. No shots near the bonded. Shh, shh. Chase turned slightly toward Vera. Give me water and a cloth. For a dragon, she scoffed. For a living being, Jace said, pain makes anyone dangerous. Vera's crest twitched. She looked like she wanted to refuse. Then she threw a small bandage roll at his boots. 10 seconds. Jace wet the cloth with his own cup and slid it through the gap. Asha did not move. Then the massive head lowered. The cloth vanished into darkness. Asha blinked once slow and deliberate like a signal. Vera inhaled sharply, as if she had seen something impossible. Far ahead, the arena system boomed. Bring in the challenger. Bring in the captain. The floor vibrated as locks released. Vera stepped close and whispered, If you win, I lose rank. If you lose, the commander may kill you to erase the shame. Jace met her eyes. Then tell your commander the poking ends today. Across the hall, Commander Rock waited on a raised platform, smiling. His armor was spotless. His eyes were not. He lifted a finger, and the clerks bowed. Make it quick, he said. Humans learn faster when they bleed. The arena doors began to open. The arena was a clear bowl inside the ship. Glass walls rose high. Above them, officers watched in silence while drones filmed every breath. A metal bell rang once. A clerk spoke, voice flat. Right of dominance. Blood claim recorded. 3 trials. Commander. Rock sat high, smiling like it was sport. Begin. Vera stepped into the circle. Her hand was wrapped, but the bite mark still showed. She forced her pride to stand tall. Jace stood across from her. His cuffs were gone, but the translator. Collar remained. Guards aimed rifles, ready to punish any wrong move. The clerk raised a thin rod with 3 lights. Trial 1. Control. Floor plates under Jace's boots hummed. The shock field did not cut skin. It attacked balance and fear. Most challengers collapsed fast. The first wave hit. Jace's knees bent, his teeth clenched. He did not shout. Did one simple thing. He spread his feet and breathed slow. A second wave struck, harder. His vision blurred. Sweat formed on his brow. He focused on a scratch mark on the floor and stayed upright. The clerk turned to Vera. Captain may issue a command. If he obeys, your claim strengthens. Vera lifted her voice. Kneel. Jace met her eyes. He did not kneel. Beg. He simply stayed standing. The arena murmured. The shock field faded. First light turned green. Trial 1 complete, the clerk said. Challenger maintained control. Rock's smile thinned. The clerk lifted a square slate. Trial 2. Mind. A puzzle grid appeared in the air, made of shifting symbols. Wrong answers would trigger the shock field again. Vera smirked. You will fail. Jace studied the grid. He did not guess. He waited for the pattern to repeat. Then he asked, calm and clear, "The rule stays the same, yes?" The clerk hesitated. "Yes, and it can be learned," Jace said. He watched 3 shifts. He noticed a tiny detail. Every third change. The symbols rotated the same way. Jack tapped 3 points on the slate. The grid froze. A clean tone. Chimed. The second light turned green. A low sound rose in the arena's surprise. Then respect. Vera's crest twitched. Now Jace's voice stayed even. "Humans solve problems under pressure. You kept testing me. Now you see the result, Commander." Rock leaned forward, eyes cold. "Trial 3 will break him." The clerk raised the rod. The third light stayed dark. "Trial 3, command. Challenger must face the bonded guard." Gate opened across the glass bowl. Heavy steps shook the floor. Scaled guardian entered, armored, guided by control wires. Its eyes covered, it snarled and slammed its tail. The crowd cheered. Jace's stomach tightened. But he did not step back. Then a deeper roar answered from behind the sealed bonded door. Ush's roar. The control wires around the guardian flickered. The guardian's eye cover snapped loose. And it turned not toward Vera, not toward Rockstraight, toward Jace. As if chosen, the guardian dragon took 1 step toward Jace. Then it stopped. Its nostrils flared. It's tasting the air, reading the room the way humans read faces. The crowd went quiet because a bonded dragon was not supposed to hesitate, was supposed to obey. Vera's fingers tightened around her rank chain. "Move," she snapped, forcing her voice steady. The guardian did not move. Commander Rock stood up. "Increase the control current." A technician tapped a panel. The wires along the guardian's neck glowed. The dragon's muscles jerked like a puppet being yanked. Jaw clenched. You could see pain in the dragon's body, pain being knit. Used as a leash, the guardian roared and lunged. Jack did not run. He raised his hands, empty palms open. The oldest sign of "I am not your enemy." The dragon's claws scraped the floor inches from him. Hot breath washed over his face. 1 bite from that mouth could end him. Jace looked into its eyes and spoke into the collar, letting the whole ship hear. "I won't fight you," the arena murmured again. The clerk frowned. "Refusal is weakness." Jace shook his head. "Refusal is control." The guardian trembled, pulled by wires. It tried to obey Rock, but its eyes kept sliding back to Jace, like it recognized something. Then the bonded door behind the arena shuddered. Ush's roar rolled through, the glass bowl like thunder. The sound was not rage, it was a warning. The guardian froze completely, for 1 heart-stopping second. Every screen in the arena flashed a strange symbol. Dragon code active. Vera's blood ran cold. That symbol, it's old. Rock's face tightened. Ignore it. But the clerk stepped back, suddenly respectful. "The dragons have invoked a code. The trial is altered." Rock slammed his fist on the rail. "No, the human must be broken." Jace glanced up at him. "You're the one who's scared." Rock's eyes sharpened. "Of a pet?" Jace pointed at the wires on the guardian's neck. "That is not a pet. That is a prisoner." The crowd shifted. Some officers looked away. Others looked angry, like the words hid a hidden truth. Vera stepped closer to Jay's low voice. "You don't understand what you're doing." "I understand," Jace whispered back. "Your empire wins by shame, by poking, by making others small." Vera swallowed. "That's how order is kept." Jace nodded once. "That's how fear is kept." The guardian dragon suddenly lowered its head slowly, till its forehead touched the floor near Jace's boots. Not a bow to Rock, not a bow to Vera, a bow to Jace. The arena exploded into noise. That's impossible. A bonded cannot choose. Rock's mouth twisted. He leaned toward a microphone. "Dragon handler team, override now." The technicians rushed. Panels lit up. The wires flared brighter. The guardian screamed. Jace stepped forward without thinking. He grabbed the wire bundle near the dragon's neck, careful not to hurt it, just to stop it from cutting deeper. Pain hit him like fire as the current jumped into his arms. He did not let go. His vision went white. but his voice stayed steady. "Stop hurting it." Vera stared at him, shocked. Not at his strength, at his choice. Rock smiled, cruel and satisfied. "Good. Let the human learn. Let him feel what dragons feel." The bonded door behind the arena cracked open with a violent hiss. A shadow filled the glass bowl. Aja stepped out, and every weapon in the arena aimed up too late. Usha's body blocked half the arena. Her scales were dark like night metal, and the control collar around her neck sparked as if it hated her freedom. Her golden eyes swept the crowd, calm, cold, and awake. The rifles did not fire. They couldn't because every soldier in that arena knew one truth. If Asha chose to fight, ship would bleed. Commander Rock lifted his chin, trying to look fearless. Bonded Dragon returned to containment. Asha did not even look at him. Her gaze locked on Jace. Jace's hand still gripped the wire bundle on the Guardian's neck. His arms shook from the shock current, but he did not let go. He tasted blood in his mouth and kept his feet planted. Vera moved a step forward, torn between duty and something new. "Jace, let go. You'll die." Jace breathed through the pain, then turned it off. Rock laughed softly. "Now you beg for mercy? After your bite?" Jace's eyes snapped to him. "No, I'm asking you to stop acting like a coward." That word hit the arena like a slap. Rock's smile vanished. He flicked 2 fingers. Technicians increased the current again. The Guardian Dragon screamed. Usha's head lowered. Not in submission like a storm gathering. The air changed. Even the drones backed away. Vera shouted, "Rock, stop." If Asha attacks, Rock cut her off, then we kill her. 2. For a moment, Vera looked as if she couldn't breathe. Kill her too. As if dragons were tools, not living allies. Jace made a choice. He released the wire and stumbled back, shaking his hands to clear the numbness. Then he spoke loud enough for every mic and drone to catch. "Everyone watching, look at your honor. You call this dominance? You torture your own dragons to feel strong?" The crowd's noise shifted, less cheering, more uneasy silence. Rock's eyes narrowed. "You are a prisoner. Your words mean nothing." Jace pointed at Asha. "Then why? Is she listening?" Asha stepped forward. Glass panels creaked under her weight. Her tail brushed the ground like a warning line. Rock raised his arm. Fire. No one fired. Not a single soldier moved. Their fear was too honest. Their loyalty was too thin. Rock's face hardened. He turned to Vera. "Captain, prove your rank. Put the human down." Vera froze. Her whole life had been orders. Rankings. Pride. The safe path. But she looked at Jay's burn marks on his hands. Pain in his eyes, still standing. Then she looked at the Guardian Dragon, still trembling from the current. Then she looked at a show silent, watching like a judge. Vera took a slow breath and said, "No." The arena gasped. Okay, stepped forward, voice low and deadly. "Say that again." Vera lifted her chin. "I will not execute a challenger during a rite. That is illegal." Rock smiled, sharp. "Then I will make a new law." He tapped his wrist. Device. Alarms changed pitch. On the main screen, a message appeared. Emergency control transferred to Commander Rock. Doors sealed. The arena's upper vents opened, releasing thin gray mist. Vera's eyes widened. Sleep gas. Jace coughed. "Once, fighting the haze, he wants us down." Asha inhaled. Her eyes flared. She did not fall. Because she wasn't breathing like a human. She was drinking the air and reading it. Asha swung her head toward the vent line. Her claws struck the floor 1, 2, 3 like a code. Jace understood the rhythm. "She's pointing." Vera snapped. "How do you know?" Jace wiped his mouth. "Because humans survive by noticing patterns." The Guardian Dragon tried to rise again. Dragged by wires, Asha roared, once short and commanding. The Guardian stopped fighting and turned, its head toward her like a soldier hearing a true leader. In that moment, Jace realized the real battlefield wasn't the arena, it was the ship, and the next move would decide if humans stayed pets or became allies. The mist thickened. Jace looked at Vera. "If we go down now, we don't get back up." Vera stared at the sealed doors, then at Asha, and finally she whispered, "Then we run." Asterisk. They ran before the mist could win. Vera slapped. A panel beside the arena floor. Service hatch. Now, a narrow plate slid open. Jace dropped first, landing hard on metal grating. Vera followed, boots clanging. Above them, Asha's shadow moved like a wall, shifting in silence. The hatch began to close. Jace looked up. Asha, the dragon did not fit, but she understood. Asha lowered her head and blew one short burst of hot air, not fire, just force into the arena mist vents. The gray fog spun back into the ceiling. Drones crashed, her sensors confused. Then Asha struck the glass wall with her tail once. A spiderweb crack ran across the panel, not to destroy the ship. Just to warn, the hatch sealed. Footsteps thundered above. Rock's guards were searching. In the service tunnel, Vera activated a wrist map. Blue lines showed routes, red lines showed patrols. "They will lock every gate," she said. "We need a place they cannot legally enter." Jace coughed, still shaking off the gas. "The right," Vera blinked. "What? The right rules?" "Still exist," Jace said. "Rock tried to cheat. That means he's scared of the law." Vera's crest lifted slightly. "He has emergency control. Control is not respect," Jace replied. "If we force a public test, he can't hide." They reached a junction where pipes hummed. Oh, a technician's console glowed. Jace stepped to it. Hands still burned, moving carefully. Vera stared. "You can use ship systems?" Jace shrugged. Humans learn fast. He pulled up the broadcast. Channel, the same one the drone used earlier. The whole ship was still watching, whispering, posting, arguing. The blood claim clip had spread like fire. Jace spoke into the console mic, voice steady. "Attention, crew of this ship. Commander Rock is torturing bonded dragons and violating right law. If you follow him, you follow fear." Vera grabbed his arm. "That is suicide." Jace shook his head. "No, that's pressure." He tapped again and displayed the guardian dragon's control current log spikes. Pain levels override, orders Rock's signature clear. The feed erupted. Rock's voice blasted through speakers, furious. "Shut it down." Footsteps hit the tunnel behind them. Guards. Vera drew her side blade. Jace raised a hand. "No killing. We need witnesses." Guards turned the corner, 3 of them, rifles lifted, then they froze, because behind the guards, the metal ceiling groaned. Asha's claws cut through a vent panel above them. Not attacking, blocking. Her head lowered into the corridor, eyes calm. The guards went pale. One whispered she left containment. Asha stared at them like a judge. One guard lowered his rifle first, then the second, then the third. Vera stared, shocked. They obey her. Jace nodded. They fear her. But it's more than fear. They know she's right. Asha pulled back slightly and struck the vent rim tap. Tap. Tap, same rhythm as before. The code .VEYRA whispered that. "Pattern. It's an old bonded signal. It means follow." Jace met her eyes. "She wants us to go somewhere." They followed Asha's path through service ways until they reached a sealed chamber with a mark on the door. Ancient Bond Archive. Vera's voice dropped. "Only High Command can open this." Jace placed his burned hand on the scanner. The door beeped. Access granted. Vera stared. "How?" Jace stepped inside. "Because the ship already chose." Chamber held stone-like tablets and holograms, old Draconid laws. Older than Rock's rank games. One tablet glowed with a symbol, Dragon Code. Vera read the header aloud, voice shaking. "Dominance is not pain. Dominance is protection. Any commander who harms a bonded without need is unworthy." Jace looked at her. "That's our weapon." Vera swallowed. "If we make this public, Rock will be stripped." Jace nodded. "And if he fights it?" Asha's roar rolled softly through the corridor outside, steady, confident. Vera's eyes hardened. Then the final test begins. Jace turned back to the console. "We don't just expose him." He tapped the broadcast button again. We challenge Commander Rock, Jace said, clear and calm. It's not with claws, not with torture. With the Dragon Code, the ship went silent. Then every screen flashed one message. Challenge accepted. Public trial required. The ship's main hall became a courtroom, not a gentle one. Steel platforms rose from the floor, forming a wide circle under bright white lights. Crew filled the upper rails. Drones hovered like silent insects, streaming to every deck. Even the bonded quarters sensors pointed here. At the center stood the ancient symbol of the Dragon Code, projected in gold. Jace and Vera walked in together. Asha followed behind the glass barrier. Too large to enter the circle, but close enough that everyone could feel her presence. The guardian dragon stood near her, no longer thrashing. Watching, waiting, Commander Rock arrived last, surrounded by armed elites. His armor was locked and heavy. His smile was back, but it looked forced. He raised his voice. This is a mutiny. A clerk older than the others, black marked with Lancerd. This is a public trial. The code has been invoked. Your command does not cancel tradition. Rock's eyes flashed. Then I will crush tradition, he signaled. The hall lights flickered, door slammed shut. A low pulse shook the floor. Vera looked up. What did he do? Jace listened. That's not security. That's a ship-wide lock. Rock smiled wider. If I can't silence you, I will force you to watch. The screens turned on across the hall feeds from bonded bays. HATCHLINGS. Small dragons curled in nests, blinking in soft light. Then the feed, GLITCHED. A second group entered the bay-masked hunters. In dark suits, the crowd gasped, the clerk snapped. Unauthorized personnel in bonded sector. Rock's voice stayed smooth. A test. For dominance. Vera stepped forward, fury breaking her control. You are using babies. Rock leaned toward her. Dominance is proven by what you can. Take! Jace's hands curled into fists. He forced them open again. You want a reaction? You want chaos? Rock nodded. I want truth. Humans bite. Yes, then bite now. On the screen, a hunter lifted a shock pole over a hatchling. Asha roared behind. The glass so loud, the drone shook. The guardian dragon trembled, claws scraping. It wanted to charge. Jace's voice cut through the hall, sharp and calm. Stop. No one stopped. Jace looked at Vera. We do not fight here. We save them. Vera's eyes locked on the feed. How? The bonded sector is sealed. Jace pointed. At the ceiling vents, service lines connect everywhere. Those hunters got in through maintenance. So can we. The clerk shouted at Rock. This violates the code. Rock shrugged. Prove it. Jace turned to the broadcast mic. Our crew listening, Rock is testing dominance by harming hatchlings. If you stay silent, you are part of it. The crowd. Shifted officers looked at each other, hands tightened on railings. VEYRA stepped to her own mic, voice loud, proud, and finally honest. I was wrong to follow him. I saw the pain. I saw the lies. I will not be unworthy. That confession hit harder than any weapon. A few soldiers lowered their rifles, then more. Rock's elites raised theirs higher. Rock barked, fire if they move. Jace did move not, toward Rock, toward the console. He pulled up the maintenance map and sent one simple command. Open vent access level 3. Asha understood instantly. She slammed her tail against the glass barrier in the same rhythm tap. 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 The guardian dragon answered one heavy stomp. Vents above the hall burst open. Cool air rushed down. From the shadows, 2 crew members dropped into the circle technicians. Not soldiers. They had tools, not guns. They shouted, "We're with you," or followed. A wave of ordinary crew who were tired of fear. Rock's elites fired stun rounds into the air to scare them back. But Asha roared again, and the sound alone made the elites hesitate. Vera grabbed Jace's arm. We can reach the bonded bay through the vent line. But if we go, Rock will call it escape. Jace met her eyes. Let him. The whole ship is watching. On the screen, The hunter's shock pole came down and the feed cut out for one terrifying second. The hall went blind. Then a new feed appeared. A hatchling bay camera shaking, showing smoke and motion, and a voice one of the hunters yelled scared, "The big one is here." Usha's eye behind the glass narrowed. Jace's mouth went tight. "They're hurting them right now." Vera lifted her blade. "Then we bite back." Jace nodded once. "No mercy for cruelty, but we keep the code." They climbed into the open vent, crawling fast toward the bonded sector while the whole ship held its breath waiting to see if a human and an alien captain could save. Dragon babies from their own commander. Asterisk, the vent tunnel, shook with distant roars and running feet. Jace crawled first, shoulders tight against metal, burned hands stinging with every grip. Vera crawled behind him, blade in her teeth to keep both hands free. Below them, alarms screamed. Ahead, the air changed, warmer, thicker, smelling like smoke and fear. Jace dropped through the last vent grate into the bonded hatchling bay. The room was chaos. 2 hunters stood near the nests, shock poles raised. One hatchling cried, wings fluttering helplessly. Another curled tight, trying to hide. And at the far end, the biggest danger wasn't the hunters. It was the control rig. A wall-mounted panel pulsed with force command signals, meant to keep dragons calm by pain. The system was screaming obey in electric language. Vera landed beside Jace, eyes wide. He's using the rig on babies. One hunter turned, visor reflecting Jace's face. "Back off, human." Jace took one step forward, slow and deliberate. "Put it down." The hunter laughed and lifted the pole. Vera moved first, fast, precise. She slashed the pole's cable, not the hunter. Sparks snapped. The pole died. The second hunter swung. Jace grabbed the attacker's wrist and twisted, using simple leverage. The pole clattered away. He didn't strike the face, shoved the hunter back into a wall and held him there. "Leave," Jace said.
Ow.
The hunter hesitated, then looked over Jace's shoulder. His courage collapsed because the ceiling vent above. The nests tore open like paper. Usha's head pushed through, scales scraping metal, golden eyes burning with cold control. Not rage, judgment, the hunters. Stumbled back, Usha lowered her head close to the hatchlings and released a low rumble, steady, calming. The baby dragons stopped crying as if they understood they were not alone. Vera stepped toward the rig panel. Her hands shook with anger. "How do we shut it down, Jace?" "Scan the panel. It's coded to rank authority." "Only rock Usha's." Claw came down beside the panel with a sharp tap. Then another, then another. The same rhythm again. Bonded command. Vera's eyes widened. "She's telling us." "Override through the code archive channel." Jace nodded. "The ancient law system." He pulled a small tool from a maintenance kit, barely more than a wire key, and opened the panel. His fingers moved quick, despite the burns. He rerouted the rig's command input away from Rock's signature and into the Dragon Code Authority. The panel beeped. Access shifted. The force command pulse softened, then died. The room felt quieter, like something cruel had finally stopped shouting. Usha exhaled. Long and slow. Then a loud voice boomed from the bay speaker's Commander Rock, furious and desperate. "Traitors. Return my property." Vera lifted her chin.
Era.
"Not property." Rock's laugh turned sharp, then prove it in public. The door to the bay slammed open. Rock entered with elites behind him, rifles aimed. His eyes locked on Usha and narrowed. "You disobeyed," he hissed at the dragon. Usha did not move. Jace stepped between Rock and the nests. "The whole ship saw your hunters. The logs are live. You're finished." Rock's finger tightened. On his trigger, "I still hold command. One shot ends your little speech." Vera raised her blade not at Rock's throat, but at his rank chain. "If you fire, you confess to the code. You will be stripped by law." Rock's jaw worked. He realized it too late. The ship wasn't his anymore. The crew had watched. The dragons had chosen. The code had activated. The black-marked clerk's voice came through the speakers. Calm and final. Commander Rock is declared unworthy. Command removed. Arrest authorized. Leets behind Rock hesitated. Then one lowered his rifle. Then another. Rock. Turned stunned, you would betray me? Ushaw's roar answered short, absolute. Rock's face went pale. He stumbled back, and two soldiers grabbed him. Pinning his arms, Vera's shoulders dropped like a weight had finally been removed. She looked at Jace, voice low. Your bite. It changed everything. Jace glanced at the hatchlings, safe and breathing. No, he said. Your choice changed everything. Asha lowered her head toward Jace, close enough to crush him, yet gentle as a promise. Her eye reflected his face. Then she touched her forehead to his shoulder lightly, a bond greeting. The room went silent, like history was being written. Every screen across the ship, the old symbol glowed again. Dominance equals protection. Later, when the fleet heard the story, they did not talk about weapons. They talked about the moment an arrogant captain kept poking a human. In the moment, human bit back, not to be cruel, but to draw a line the entire galaxy would remember.